Hey peeps, Ross England here, Clear Lake Guide Service with your Clear Lake report for March 30th, 2023. The last report of this month. Thank goodness. It's not been a happy month. Okay. I'm including in today's report little snippets as I look across the lake over here. There's snow everywhere. That happened this week, so that changed things a little bit. When I launched this morning, it was out of 5th Street. It was 49.6, 49.7, somewhere in that range. And I stayed up on this end of the lake today just because I haven't been able to do that, and had hoped to crack the code, but I think I got bit because of the weather the last couple days, and then it changed into such an abrupt change today. But anyway, so 49.7, 49.8, somewhere in that range. Warmest I saw today on this end of the lake was 51.7. I did not get around the entire part of the lake. I concentrated more on fishing than worrying about the details. So probably if you're back in some backwater areas, especially as of this afternoon with the sun beating down on it, you know, it might be warmer than that. But overall, what I saw was in that range. Water clarity, like I said, today's the first day that I've really fished up here on the upper end of the lake, and from what I hear, it got dirty compared to what it was a couple days ago. And that makes sense. Apparently there was an east wind. It was windy yesterday, and a big chunk of it blew in from the east, which messes up, you know, this whole North Shore. So the water clarity, you know, I got into a couple areas where I could see about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet. Had a little brown tinge to it, but honestly, some of the water I was able to find really didn't look that bad. The worst of it is over towards Rodman. Adobe is pumping out some dirty water. Not as dirty as yesterday, and the same thing with our creek, Kelsey Creek, same deal. So I can't really tell you what the water clarity was, but the water clarity, it's not what it would normally be for this time of year. Let's just put it that way. Lake level as of this morning was, we'll just round it off and call it 8.2 Rumsey. They're letting out, up until the first part of this week, they were letting out 3,000 cubic feet per second out of the dam, and they slowed it down the first part of this week to 2,000. So the lake has pretty much been able to hold steady. It dropped as low as 799. So for all intents and purposes, the lake's in pretty good shape. We were supposed to get a pretty heavy rain event the last couple days, and we did get rain, but it didn't really materialize into, you know, the 2 inches that they were forecasting. And we still got rain over the next week and a half forecast here and there, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I think they'll probably get it below 8 feet and keep it there for probably the rest of the spring until they start pulling water for Yolo County, whenever that happens. So there's your temp, clarity, lake level, activities. As far as I know, the only permit that's been pulled is for Saturday. There's an event called Save a Warrior, which is some kind of a specialty tournament. Don't know, I haven't seen any advertising on it, so I don't know anything about it. It's supposed to be Saturday. I doubt if it'll be very big, but who knows? You know, I don't know who's running it. I don't know which end of the lake it's going out of. I don't know anything. I just saw the permit pulled. So I'll tell you what, not gonna hear me complain, because we're more than happy to have a full lake. That is wonderful. Let's just talk about the fishing for just a little bit. if you see the results that have come from the Chamber of Commerce tournament, it's real easy to get excited, and it's real easy to say that, you know, oh, the bite's wide open. Let me just tell you from the people that I've talked to and my own experience, the bite is far from wide open. If you happen to find a spot that has fish, and if you're the only one that's able to fish it, and you stay on it, then you can have a pretty good day from what I'm hearing. You know, I haven't spoken to them, but I've heard through the grapevine from a couple different sources that, you know, there's some teams last weekend that caught upwards of 20, 30, 40 fish a day. That's awesome. If you look at Saturday's results, there were 58 teams that couldn't weigh a limit. That's not awesome. So I never get too excited with the top weights. I look at the bottom weights, the middle and the bottom half of the field, and the fishing's tough. You just can't go down the bank and catch a fish here, catch a fish there. So it's going to change as soon as the water temperature changes and we have a little bit of stability with the weather. But right now, hey, if you're one of the people out here thinking, well, geez, everybody last weekend got 20, 25 pounds a day and you didn't do it, don't feel alone, because most people aren't. So I finally got some bites today, but they were a mix of bass and crappie. So at least I didn't get skunked today. That was encouraging. Overall, it was actually a pretty nice day. We're just looking at the winds finally starting to pick up. The wind forecasts have been awful, so we're gonna call that our report. As you'll see, we got little G-Dog with us today. That's because Mom got to get away from the house yesterday afternoon and she got to go out with the girls and have some fun. So that means Gracie was stuck with Pops. And since we didn't know how long, she's out in the boat today. So I guess she brought me a little bit of luck because I didn't get skunked. We'll talk to you next week.